Okay, let's look into the GET request in the CRUD utilities, and how we can and what we can do with it. So I opened Postwoman, the PWA, and I saved the application in port 3030. So let me expose it using ngrok. So I will go where I installed it in desktop, and HTTP 3030. Okay, I wrote HTTP wrong. So HTTP, this is fine. So this is my exposed link to my API. Put it here, and let's look into the posts entity. I will send a request. So let's wait for the response. Yeah, sorry. So this is let me go to the post controller. So it's prefixed with post, not posts. So my bad, sorry. So returning to my point, this will give us all the posts in the database, which is a lot in my case, since I run this hit multiple times. We went to paginate this. So the quickest way to paginate it, which I think I showed you previously. So if you go to parameters and add a new one, this the first one I will call it page. The first one I will call it page, and the value is 1. What did I do? So page, the value 1, not 10, and the limit. So then this is like standard stuff. Limit tells the API that for each page I want 10 elements, the value here, and I want the page 1. The page is, yeah, I want the page 1. So now the data will look a little bit different. Expand response, yes, this is nice. So we have an array called data. It contains the array of posts, and if you scroll to the bottom of the request, the response, you will find the count, which is 10, the same as the limit. And here the total. So we have 400 posts, and this is the page count. So we have 40 pages. Let's go to page number 39. Click send. So yeah, I think you got the idea. This is page 39. If you scroll down, are these 10 posts? So page 1, yeah, sorry, my bad. I made the limit 39. But I think you got my point. So yeah, the limit is 39, and the page, whatever, 10, we have 40 pages. So I think you got my point. But the problem is here that the user can request all the data, which might be bad for our server. In Nest, you can always paginate by putting the properties I will show you right now inside your CRUD utilities option. So where you put them inside the query. So query is an object. It will take always paginate to true. So I run the server in npm with npm run start dev, so it should recompile. And I'm not sure if you should provide a limit. I think the default limit is 10, so it will always use pages with 10 elements inside of them. So let's test it. But here the response is a little bit different. It's not an array of data. I think it will be let's just see. No, it's an array of data. It's a little bit slow, but just bear with me. I think this is more than 10. So yeah, I think you should put so you say always paginate, and you say the limit. So the limit is 10. There is also another option called max limit, which might be useful. Is that 10? So yeah, okay. This is what we want. So the pages here are 400. The total number of elements are 400, but the page count is 40, which is correct. It's always paginated. If you noticed, we are not sending any request parameter. We're not sending anything. So it's always pagination. It's always paginated, which is fine. I think this is the default behavior we want. But of course, instead of repeating, there is always like some default request, some default properties you will have in almost all your controllers. So I think defining a function which should return the CRUD options would be a good idea. You can find an interface. It's called CRUD options. So I think from at Nest.js CRUD. So you can create a function that returns this and just call it in all your CRUD decorators. But I won't bother right now. So this is cool. I think I think if you before the CRUD utilities, you will do it in a different way. You will use a like global configuration, stuff like that. I think I prefer this way. It's simpler. Okay, so another thing that I think Nest.js or the CRUD utilities shines with, and it's annoying to implement in other frameworks. So here, at least Node.js frameworks, is the ability to join the data by adding request parameter. So first of all, you need to add properties inside the query object to make this work. So the property is called join, and it will accept the name of the So let me just show you. I think showing you is a better approach than saying it. So here we have comments, right? And we have user. So this is what we will and likes. So this is what the name of the key here. So we will join with the comments, the name of the entities, the name of the relation, you can say. And this will be an object. So it have some properties, areas to change its name, for exclude, so to remove some columns from the relation. For example, password for the user, which we didn't implement right now. And eager means if it's always exists, you don't. So eager, which means if eager is true, the API will always join the comments no matter what the user send in the request parameters. So let me just show you. So I will put it to true, and let's go and send the request. So now we see for each post an array of comments, which you can see here, which I think really nice. And we don't have to pass any request parameter. But I don't think this is the correct way to build your API. I think the user, or at least the front-end developer, the client, whatever, should load the post, which usually will contain more than just the body and the title, then load the comments, or at least load everything when the user needs them, not just like dump everything on the page. That's better for performance. But this is how you do joins. But there is more to it. So let's just put some more examples. So I can add, for example, the likes. So if you go to the post entity, you can find it here. It's a relation one-to-many. So that I will also put eager true. And here is a cool thing you can do in Nest.js, which yeah, and another thing is very annoying to implement another frameworks. So this is a nested relation. So I want, if the user passed arguments in the parameter that he or she wants the user that typed each comment for each post, you can do that, which I think is really nice. So first of all, let's use ngrok to see this. Then I will show you how we can build it, how we can set this as a request parameter. So go to Postwoman. So now we should see an array of, for each post, array of comments, array of likes, and for each comment we should see the user that made this comment. So yeah, some of them will be null for my case, since I run some tests. I think I didn't clear my database, so I ran some tests where there is some errors in the faking the data So just ignore this. In your case, if you did everything correctly, or if you are just interested what the result will be, something like this. So this post, it contains an array of comments, and for each comment you will find the user object, which is nice. Here's as well the likes, so the comments, user. Yeah. And by the way, if you go to post / let's say for example with ID 234, so if you send it, you will get the post with the comments and the joins here. The comments are joined with the user, and here you can see the likes. Also, you can do this with the likes, so you can see who's the users that like this comment. You can do this here. So if you did everything correct inside your entity, these things that should be very easy. So let's just convert them to false and see how we can send them as a request parameter. So go to parameters tab if you are using Postwoman. So parameter 1 will be join. The value will be comments. So let me just send it. So here we have only the array of comments on the posts. So another thing is, if you want to join with another table, which I think this is really cool feature, you just type, you just repeat the same name of the parameter and with another value. So likes. I think other frameworks lets you type join as an array, which makes the link even harder to understand sometimes. So I think this is nice. So if you look to the response, we have the comments for the post with the likes. And of course, I highly recommend that you read the capabilities of the filters. And how you can use them. So there is a lot of filters, a lot of operators that you can use. Most of them are really easy. I won't waste your time or my time just showing you. But there is something that I think I should address it, which is, let's say for example, you want to sort. So I want to see all the posts and sort them by the number of the comments they have. I think this is the really common case. Most of the users will just build a UI with really so many filters, and one of them will definitely be filter these records by the number of the corresponding relation to them or something like that. So I want to order the posts or filter the posts by the number of the comments, by the number of likes or stuff like that. Yeah, I will show you how to do it, because I don't think it's very clear on how to do it. So I will show you a way, which I think is interesting to see. And then, as I said, going through the documentation and reading how you can use all the request parameter the CRUD utilities shows you a better idea than watching a video. And just try to be familiar with the front end library that they provide. I think I will show in the next video how you can use the count relation, so the number of posts for the number of comments for each post, and sort the result by it, which I didn't see good examples for it. And the next thing I will since all the joins will be similar in our case except for the followers, since it's joined with the same table, I will do that as well. I will show you how we can build this like CRUD decorator inside the user controller, so how we can join it with itself to get the number of followers or the following for each user, stuff like that. We will do it. So I think if I cover these two, I think I am done with the get request for the utilities, and maybe we can go to the post and patch and put for the validation. And the end we can go to the delete request, which is very straightforward. But I showed it to you, but you can go to the name of the route, then the /ID. This will give you a specific post. So yeah, I think very nice from the CRUD utilities. Okay, I won't make it any longer. Thank you.